This week, who is the new number one contender? This is the prestigious one, Joe Hendry here, and welcome to Technique Tuesdays. This is the show where I break down all the techniques and the moves that you see every week on Ring of Honor television. First up, let's take a look at my tag team partner, Dalton Castle, looking to get that loss back from Josh the Goods Woods. Josh refutes the claim that him beating Dalton Castle is a fluke because he says, look, I beat him decisively. I submitted him. That is the skill set that I bring. Dalton, on the other hand, says he is sick of losing. He feels this failure and he doesn't want to feel it anymore. He's a former world champion. Is he a new and focused Dalton Castle? Let's find out.
I'm not trying to mess with you.
Let's talk about the very start of the match. One thing we are used to seeing in professional wrestling is the lockup. But when you have two very skilled amateur wrestlers and grapplers like Castle and Woods, sometimes they tend to use their backgrounds, their grappling strategies, like searching for double underhooks. That's why when these two engage, you don't see the traditional lockup, which is up high. They are looking for the underhooks. And when you get the underhooks, you can go around the waist of your opponent and you can control them very easily. But here's the thing, if Dalton Castle and Josh Woods are facing anyone else, they can use that strategy against them. But when you have two equally brilliant grapplers, you cancel each other out. Dalton and Josh have been trying to isolate each other's waist, going for the double underhooks, and it's not working. So what Dalton does is brilliantly switch to the strategy of what we would call a 2-on-1. That's when you use two of your hands to control one arm of your opponent. By doing so, he manages to completely isolate that side of Josh, shutting down any attack that he is going to advance with. Now watch this. Dalton uses this grip to push him back to the ropes. Now that's not inflicting any damage, but both these guys know that if that was on a wrestling mat, that would have been 1 point for a push out. So no damage done, but perhaps a mental victory and a statement made by Dalton Castle.
Still got him. He's going to try to... Yep. Oh, holding on now.
Often in wrestling, when competitors are running from rope to rope, we see a drop down and a leapfrog. Now, a wise man in this business once told me that you have two options when you use the drop down. Either it is an evasion to get out of the way of a running opponent, or if you use it in the style of the late great Eddie Guerrero, it is used as a trip for your opponent.
Will be a winner here. Nice drop down, catches the leg.
Josh the Goods Woods uses this perfectly and adapts it to his own style. He gets in there quick enough for it to be a trip and he isolates the leg. Now watch this. Josh goes for that same leg lock that he used to beat Dalton Castle previously, but Dalton has prepared an answer for that. During the transition, Dalton manages to switch to a waist lock, showing that he's done his research on Josh the Goods Woods. But Josh is no slouch himself. Fantastic grappler. He knows he's not having success with the legs or the waist, so he switches to focusing on the arm. Brilliant strategy from Josh the Goods Woods. Now, in my opinion, and this is just one person's opinion, I think that Josh the Goods Woods is the better overall grappler. I don't think there's any doubt about that when you factor in his wrestling and his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, but I will say, I do feel with a trained eye that Dalton Castle is the more technical mat wrestler.
How's my what? How's my back? Yeah, you got the... How's your face?
Oh, double leg takedown.
The last time these two fought, Josh countered the bangerang, Dalton Castle's finishing maneuver, into that leg lock. So Castle has done his research. He knows he needs to, as he spoke about earlier, close that gap in his game. And that's exactly what he's done. Watch this. He goes for the bangerang. Josh goes to roll through for that counter, but instead, Dalton Castle knows it's coming. As we've heard before, many times discussed on this program and on Ring of Honor television, Dalton Castle has had issues with his back.
Josh tried to reverse it, but Castle caught it. Ducks the right. Ooh, and that back has been broken.
Dalton groans in pain. He is in serious trouble because that back is seizing up.
Oh, wait a minute, come on!
Are you serious?
1, 2, 3,
Wow.
he got him!
Some say that it's underhanded, some say that it's smart strategy, but at the end of the day, in the wins and losses column, it just doesn't matter. Dalton Castle picks up the win. Next up, it's Four Corner Survival, and it is star power. Jay Briscoe, Jay Lethal, Matt Taven, and EC3. When it comes to star power, it just doesn't get bigger than this. And this match has huge title implications because the winner is going to go on to face Rush for the Ring of Honor World Championship at the 19th anniversary show. Lots at stake in this match. Let's take a look.
Title, and it's Jay Briscoe unloading at EC3.
Now right off the bat, Jay Lethal wastes no time getting to work. Very quickly we see that beautiful hip toss dropkick combination. It is the speed and the precision of Jay Lethal that is on display here. But there's a reason why Taven is a former world champion. Check this out. He goes for a super aggressive baseball slide through the legs of Jay Lethal.
Steel cage in 2014 to the ladder match in 2019.
Now as we know, EC3 and Jay Briscoe, they've got their own feud going on. They're extremely focused on each other, so they are beating the hell out of each other. EC3 tries to get rid of Jay Briscoe, creates some space, but what he does is he actually creates a 220 plus pound weapon in the form of Jay Briscoe. Double clothesline to both Lethal and Taven, and that's created a situation where now EC3 and Jay Briscoe are going to make their way to the ring.
And might get broken streak over there.
Now I talked about the fact that I love great strategy. I also love this idea that world championships are won, to quote Chael Sonnen, by a ruthless execution of the basics. And I feel that EC3 demonstrates this perfectly.
Up and over Jay Briscoe to the apron.
Lethal slides in with that quickness, that timing, that precision that we spoke about.
Wow! Man.
EC3 once again with that ruthless execution of the basics. Brutal clothesline turns Lethal inside out. That is called turning them inside out because Lethal has now taken what we would call a front bump. He's hit him so hard, it's inversed the landing for his opponent. Now this match is chaotic, but it's a different kind of chaos. Look at Taven, he's on the top rope, hits a beautiful dropkick, but Lethal again with that timing. He's there to hit his backbreaker, facebreaker combination, and he's once again in control. He's got the higher ground standing in the ring.
And springboard catches Taven with the dropkick.
But this is the thing about four corner survival, you just can't forget about anyone in the matchup.
Jay Briscoe, former two-time world champ, looking to get back to the top of his mountain. All right.
Now next up I want to take you to this monstrosity in the business that we call the Tower of Doom. Because if there's 4 participants, there's 3 losers and only 1 winner.
Scavenger! There's no way this is well for Taven! Like a vulture coming in!
But just when we think EC3 is playing the art of war, he becomes too focused on Jay Briscoe. Rather than capitalize on this situation where he's taking everybody out, he clasps Jay Briscoe and says to Jay Lethal, kick him in the face.
Kick him in the face.
What is he? He's telling Lethal to kick Jay Briscoe.
Do that though.
Kick him in the face!
Is this the type of strategy if you want to get to the world title match at the 19th anniversary show?
Yeah. And Lethal!
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we have a situation where Jay Lethal has the figure 4 locked in and EC3 hits a powerbomb on top of the figure 4.
And EC3 powerbombs Taven into Lethal, and that'll break up the figure 4.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal, and we're lucky that we didn't get broken necks and backs right there.
And they're coming our
And
way.
Shortly after, we're left in a situation where 2 of the competitors, i.e. Jay Briscoe and EC3, are brawling to the back, leaving only Jay Lethal and Matt Taven.
Can somebody get a camera on her? I can't tell who that is. It's Beta Star.
But that's exactly the problem that Matt Taven is now going to have to deal with, because no matter how talented, skilled, and experienced you are, if there are distractions, you are not going to be able to beat Jay Lethal.
See, this is what she sounds like a crazy girlfriend.
Oh, and Lethal with that
Wow.
Jay hits him with the cutter, follows up with the lethal injection. No one kicks out of that, and we have our number 1 contender for the Ring of Honor World Championship. It's going to be the champion Rush versus Jay Lethal. We're going to get these 2 ideologies clashing head to head at the 19th anniversary show. You've got the foundation, the technical wrestling, the respect from Foundation's Jay Lethal up against the brutal, violent, chaotic style of Rush. Which ideology is going to come out on top? Let me know in the comments who's going to win at the 19th anniversary show. This has been Technique Tuesdays. I've been Joe Hendry. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out shophonor.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Friday, March 26th, Ring of Honor Wrestling celebrates its 19th anniversary on pay-per-view. Throughout the years, one thing remains the same. ROH is synonymous with excellence. See ROH athletes such as the Briscoe Brothers, Matt Taven, The Foundation, La Facción Ingobernable, and many more. Championships will be defended and legacies will be defined. Find out why honor has always been real. Friday, March 26th, it's our 19th anniversary on pay-per-view.